Hey guys, this is Kaiser GX. Today we're doing a speculation video on the Switch Mini. No, the Switch Mini is not a thing. I do not mean to clickbait my video, but that's the only thing I could come up with to put its title. But basically we're discussing the future possibility of Nintendo making Switch Mini in the future and why that is. First of all, the big question everyone's asking, is the 3DS going to be replaced by the Switch? I think it is, but not necessarily exactly the way you might think. I don't think the system itself is going to replace the 3DS hardware-wise, but I do think the games on the Switch are going to be where they're going to replace the 3DS games. I think there is going to be some sort of smaller version of the Switch that is going to play the exact same games, so it's going to have a shared library. And I think that in a way that's going to replace the 3DS because Switch, what is the Switch? The Switch is already a handheld console hybrid, but you can still 100% use it as a handheld. It's not like the Wii U where you could only use it in the same proximity. You can actually take this anywhere and not worry about it being in a certain range from the console because the tablet itself is the console. And I think that two ways Nintendo can do about doing this, because there's two big problems that stops the Switch from being a good handheld. First thing is the battery's life isn't very good. I think on the more taxing games you're going to get probably 2 to 3 hours, maybe 5 depending on the brightness and stuff like that, but that's not a very good battery life. And people who want a really good handheld are going to want a big battery life, so they're not going to be worrying about if they charge their system or not, or they have a portable charger with them where they can just throw this in their pocket, throw this in their backpack, and not worry about it. And that goes on to the second thing, where the Switch isn't that portable. Now, sure, it may fit in some people's pockets. My pockets are kind of big and roomy. They do fit in there, but they don't fit comfortably. And this thing wasn't designed to be put in your pocket. The Joy, what do you call those? Thumbsticks, I think protrude a little bit too much. The system itself is a bit too wide to fit comfortably, especially in little kids' pockets. Which is, I think, is the main reason to make a smaller system, is to be able to make the price point smaller, make the system more durable, and be able to sell it to more people, more kids, because not everybody's going to want a console. A lot of people like their handhelds, being able to play it on the go. Maybe somebody doesn't have a TV or something, maybe they just like playing the handhelds better, or not playing in their house. Second thing is, parents are going to want to cash out $300, give their kids a system that might break easily for them. And yeah, some parents give their kids iPhones and stuff, but that's a whole different thing. And basically, there's two ways it can go. There's two ways Nintendo can go around doing this. Is either they sell the tablet by itself, they sell a smaller tablet that the Joy-Cons are still compatible from the Switch. However, that means you're gonna have to have a Switch in order to buy this thing, because I think Nintendo's gonna want to make this cost a lot less to produce, to sell this at a much lower price. And sure, you will be able to use your Joy-Con controllers, but at that point, you know, is the size of this thing and the battery life fully worth buying another smaller tablet for it? And I think the better solution is just having a whole nother handheld itself that has a smaller screen, maybe around the size as the 3DS. The new 3DS was maybe a little bit bigger, where the Joy-Cons themselves are going to be shaped a bit different. And obviously, the one thing about this is that if they do make a dedicated handheld, which will play the same games in handheld mode, they cannot connect to a TV. I don't think the Switch Joy-Con controllers are gonna be able to come off just to be more cost effective. But the thing is, I don't know what these are called, the D-pad buttons. The only reason they're like that is because when you take them off Switch, you can turn them on its side and use the joystick and the buttons, or when you connect them together, it can be used as a D-pad. So when they make the dedicated handheld, I think that it will stick to a traditional D-pad, and that's probably a plus for some people. And the Pro controller already has a D-pad on it, so that's why I think they're going to stick with that. And before I go on any further, people saying why are they going to call this a Switch Mini when it can't? The Joy-Cons can't switch out. Well, do I need to remind you guys about the 2DS? You know, it's a 3DS without 2D. It's still a 3DS. So I don't think Nintendo really cares about the name that much when it comes to, you know, when they release something that's not part of the main product or the main line anyways. But basically, I'm expecting this parentheses quote unquote Switch Mini to be a new handheld, a newly designed handheld that plays the same games, has a bigger battery life, it's a lot smaller, but could still connect via Bluetooth, the Pro controller, or maybe other Switch Joy-Cons to play 2 players. Because in handheld mode, I don't think this thing's gonna be as big. I don't think the priority is gonna be as big as being able to play 2 players as the console version. Because a handheld is usually just dedicated to one person. And if you really want to play with multiple people, you can still use your handheld, and somebody can use either another handheld or a different controller or whatever. And secondly, I think it will have some sort of cover for the screen. That's one thing I hate about the 2DS that didn't have a cover. You can't. Besides it being a lot bigger, you couldn't fit in your pocket, but this thing would scratch up the screen. But I think it's going to have some sort of cover, kind of like tablets have, where it covers the screen, but you can like unfold it, and it will double as a kickstand. So yeah, that's what I think the Switch Mini is going to be. I think this is what Nintendo's going to make later on, in order to also control the handheld market a bit better while still having the console, still having options for people who want this sort of thing. Personally, I wouldn't get a Switch Mini because I think the Switch is good enough, and I play my handhelds at home anyway, so it's not going to matter to me. But I know people like playing on the go and might not want to spend $300 when they can spend 180 or 200 to get something smaller that they can take around and just be a better handheld in general. So that's what I think. Tell me in the comments if you guys agree or disagree, or there's things that maybe could be better about the Switch Mini, or things they could do better, or it's something they should do. And I really think this is something Nintendo should do, because I think one of the big one of the cons about the Wii U is that there weren't that many games, and not just third party, but Nintendo themselves. It was the first time they went into making HD games, so the development time was a bit longer. And also, if they can get rid of, because when you're making games for handheld and games for console, you're splitting your development group in half. And I think a big reason why the 3DS version of, well, both versions of Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U suffered because the 3DS was holding it back on making 2 separate versions, so they had to split development time and money. Because if we didn't have the 3DS version, we would have the Ice Climbers on the Wii U version. So I think that's a huge plus, and I think that's really gonna help have a better flow of games coming out. So yeah, like I said, if you guys have any comments or anything you guys want to add or correct or anything like that, post in the comments. If you guys want more of these speculation type videos, go ahead and say that too. There's a lot of stuff we can talk about now that Nintendo game's coming out. And yeah, that's it. See you guys later.